Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this edition of Train Time. Today, we are at the Milwaukee County Mitchell Park Domes in Milwaukee County for the annual Garden Railway Show. And folks, this is really a treat. You're in for something really cool today. First off, we're going to talk with Russ Morwitz. He's in with the Wisconsin Garden Railroad Society. Here's what Russ had to say. Joining me now is Russ Moritz, and he's from the Wisconsin Garden Railroad Society. And Russ, first of all, tell us a little bit about garden railroading in general.
Well, garden railroading is essentially trains that run within, you can set them outdoors in your garden. So as opposed to a lot of your HO or N-scale, smaller scale trains that people build in their basements or garages or whatever, the garden railroad can be, due to its size, it works best in the outside. So when I became re-involved in the railroading hobby a couple of years back, I decided taking one of my flower beds and converting it to run trains in. And that's kind of where we're at here today and what the dome setup is here. Being late March right now, my tracks are still covered with snow, so this gives me an opportunity to come inside here and run my trains and make certain they're ready for the summer season.
All right, very good, Russ. And now that you mentioned, of course, you can run these trains all year long if you wanted to. Rain, snow, nothing seems to stop them, right?
Absolutely. With a good shovel or a prototypical snowplow car, you can certainly clear the tracks. But I prefer to run mine in here when the weather outside is a little more inclement.
Sure. And Russ has one of the locomotives right now that are running around the track, so you can get see if my cameraman can get a close-up of this. These trains are really huge. Tell us a little bit about this locomotive, Russ, that you have in your hand today.
Well, this is a very basic Bachmann 460 due to the wheel configuration. Like I say, it's a real standard. This is what most people getting into garden railroading, if they buy a basic kit. This is the engine that comes in that. You'll find hundreds of versions of these, thousands of these out there probably in the country in different paint configurations and different things, depending on how one wants to run it. As a matter of fact, this was the first engine that I purchased, and then from there, it's your imagination as to what you want to do with it. But basically, G-scale, garden railroad scale is anywhere that they range in scale from about a 1/20th scale to 1/32nd. This happens to be a 1/29th scale engine. Runs on all those scales will run on a standard 45 millimeter track. So all the track's the same. So it allows us to at least have some continuity so that we can all run our trains on a similar track.
Now, talking about track, of course, people familiar with the HO scales and stuff, I think they use mostly brass tracks, but you run steel, real steel rails on this, don't you?
I run stainless steel for my outdoor track simply because stainless steel doesn't corrode out in the elements and so forth, so it's much more durable. You can also put brass track outdoors. It is available. And then, of course, a basic kit like this, when you purchase it, comes with a nickel plate rail, which is only good.
Russ, do you do a lot of kit bashing?
Well, I do, yes. Like I say, creativity is part of what it is, is coming up with the buildings and the loads to put on your flat cars and your scenery that you construct and that sort of thing. Matter of fact, I have one other engine here I'll grab up real quick, which I had happened to, one of my original kit bashing projects here. This is actually LGB chassis underneath, which LGB is a German company. They've been making garden scale trains for a long time, one of the longer ones in the industry. But I had purchased just the chassis at a flea market one time, and then I decided, well, I'm going to put an engine on top of it. So I started thinking and came up with the various copper pieces here to make the boiler and the cab and so forth. So that was all built from scratch.
So you made that train completely by yourself? It looks like you used copper tubing on that?
Yes, copper waste pipe and copper feed lines and so forth. Everything but the drivetrain, which was again by LGB, but custom painted that and came up with this little unit. So you won't find another one of these anywhere in the country, I don't believe.
I'll bet. That's very good. Well, listen, Russ, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you. Good luck.
All right, next we're going to be talking with John Thompson. I believe he's with the Glacier Model Railroad Society, and he's got a couple of really unique trains to show us. All right, joining me now is John Thompson. And John, tell us, what group are you with today?
The Glacial Garden Railroad.
And John has some very, very unique trains to show us. Tell us about the first train there, John. This it appears to be a sausage dog.
Well, we have a dachshund, and my wife got me a dachshund, and I figured I'd have it chasing my train around the track. So I put wheels on it, and it used to chase my train around the track. Then my wife was teaching, and one of her students gave her a smaller slinky. So I put wheels on that, and then I picked up another one and another one, so now I've got four small ones and a large one. Well, instead of having them chase the train, I decided to make an engine. So I picked up a Wienermobile, bank. I put a motor in it, headlights and taillights, and now it pulls all the slinkies.
That's really interesting. And you made these all from scratch, did you, John?
Yes. Well, from the toys, and then I add the wheels and the motors and stuff.
And that's a fine example of kit bashing. And folks, we're going to see these things rolling around the tracks in just a few minutes. John, thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you.
You know, the Garden Railway show here is really, really popular with the children. Let's talk with some of them and see what they had to say. What's your name, young man?
Joe.
And Joe, what do you think about the train layout here?
Cool.
What's your favorite part?
It's the bridges.
You got what's your favorite train?
I like the one with the freight train.
All right, that's a cool train, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Are you going to come back next year?
Yep.
I bet you every year.
Yeah.
Okay. And your name is Isaiah?
Uh-huh.
And Joy, you're enjoying the trains here today?
Yes.
What's your favorite? You got a favorite train?
Thomas.
Thomas the Tank Engine? How about you, Isaiah? What do you... it's unanimous, folks, for Thomas. What do you think about all the stuff that's going on here today?
Well, I think it's super cool because my dad always loved trains and I love trains too.
Do you have your own train layout?
We used to, but then the trains that my dad has are super old and they don't work anymore.
Oh, well,
Train tracks and stuff.
Oh, well, maybe you'll fix it. Well, thank you guys for taking a few minutes to talk with us today.
Welcome.
All right, Isaiah's got a question for us. Isaiah, what's on your mind?
We got one of those trains in the front that's going through the bridge, the first train.
Oh, like that big yellow one? Mm-hmm. Is that one of your favorites? Mm-hmm. All right, thank you very much, Isaiah. All right, joining me now is James. James, tell us, how do you like the show today?
I think it's cool. I just asked if they could start a train that I was interested in, and they did. So.
What's your favorite train here today, James?
I like there's a green one. That one right there.
All right, you know what kind of train that is?
It's diesel.
It's called a GP38.
Okay.
General purpose, made by General Motors. That's a cool train. That's one of my favorites too. Anything else you like here at today's show?
I like how over there with those pink flowers, they made them look like trees.
All right, James, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today. And that's it for this edition of Train Time. Join us again next time as we explore the wonderful world of model railroading. Until next time, I'm Dave Ryba. Thanks for watching.